Like with the vast majority of programs and apps, Premiere Pro has an array of shortcuts that can help speed up the editing process. I've included with this course a little cheat sheet featuring the key Premiere Pro shortcuts you will want to know. You may want to print this out for reference or save it somewhere with easy access. In this lesson, I'm going to go over the really essential shortcuts that I'll be coming back to time and time again, and that you will soon have drilled into your head. Don't worry if you don't fully understand some of them yet. I'll be going over them all again later on. But I want to start laying the groundwork for remembering these shortcuts now. The first is, of course, the shortcut to saving your work. To save, press Ctrl and S on Windows or Command and S on Mac. Make sure you are saving regularly, and I really mean this. I'm watching you. Save your work. The next shortcut is undo, which is Ctrl and Z on Windows and Command and Z on Mac. As it implies, this shortcut will undo what you just did, so don't fret if you make a mistake. To redo, press Ctrl, Shift and Z on Windows and Command, Shift and Z on Mac. Moving on to copy and paste. Pretty self-explanatory, but if you wanted to copy something you've done, maybe a clip or a sound effect, you can select that item and then press Ctrl and C on Windows and Command and C on Mac. You can also right-click and press Copy. To paste, select where you want the copy to go on the timeline and press Ctrl and V on Windows or Command and V on Mac to paste. These shortcuts work very much like if you were just using Word or Pages and copying and pasting things around. Another really basic one is to delete. To delete something, just press delete. And if you want to ripple delete, which deletes and fills the space afterwards, hit Shift and delete. Now for some shortcuts that will become extremely useful in the next lesson, and I will repeat them, but are worth just discussing here. First off, when you're editing, you're going to want to be able to change the cursor to the razor tool, which will allow you to cut up your footage by clicking. To turn your cursor into the razor, just press C, and then to return it back to the normal cursor, hit V. That's C for razor and V to return to normal, or as it's officially called, the selection tool. If you're struggling with your cursor, for instance, you may have accidentally hit another shortcut, then pressing V should return you back to normal. While you're using the razor tool, holding Shift and clicking will allow you to cut everything on that part of the timeline all at once. One of the most important and most straightforward shortcuts is the spacebar. Hitting the spacebar will play your video from wherever the playhead is currently stationed. Hitting the spacebar will then also pause the video and stop the playhead in that exact position. This, like many of these shortcuts, also works when playing video from the project panel that can be seen in the source monitor. For instance, if you're playing through this clip in your folder that's not on the timeline, hit spacebar and it will pause. It all depends on which panel is highlighted with that light blue outline, which is a simple visual cue to show you which panel is currently in operation. Simply click the timeline panel to start controlling the pause play of your edit. Premiere also features something called the in and out tool. Essentially, when you're moving footage from your project panel to your timeline, you may only want to use a snippet of that footage. You can mark in and out on the footage to tell Premiere when you want the footage that's being moved in to begin and end. To mark in, just press I, and to mark out, press O. This will make a lot more sense in the next lesson. Now don't worry if you haven't picked everything up just yet. Use the cheat sheet if you need, and I'll be repeating the key ones a few times anyway. Just please keep saving your work. Ctrl S on Windows or Command S on Mac. Please. And I'll see you in the next lesson.